Hi everyone, Omaha Psychic Lori. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here today to help you enhance your psychic abilities, and I'm excited that you're wanting to do that. So many people have so many negative connotations. People say some negative things, and I just look at, gosh, if your dog or cat recognizes a sound or movement or something super sensitive, we never say anything like, oh, that's evil or awful or horrible. So I'm here to tell you that your psychic ability is part of a natural existence in you. And I know a lot of people, when I was 3.5 years old, I actually hung from a electrical wire. And I know a lot of people think, oh, that's how you became psychic. But I think I have a lot of family members that it was passed down through generations. But you know, as I got more into my psychic ability growing up, I also assumed everybody had the same ability I did. And say, for instance, if you started talking about something in your experience, I saw the people. I saw the people, what they're wearing, where they were placed when you were talking about it. And I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. But as I grew up, and you know, I had a big traumatic thing happen in my life where my grandmother had a quadruple bypass. My one sister was pregnant and traveled to see my grandmother, was losing amniotic fluid, and so she had to fly back, have emergency C-section, and then my other sister was in a car accident and was on life support. And of course, when all of that traumatic stuff happened, I assumed that I could go touch my oldest sister and everything would be fine and she would live. Now, my grandmother was great. My niece that was born through the C-section was okay, but during that time that my sister was passing, my niece's strength got better. So that was an interesting thing in my life, but I could not handle seeing my sister in the state that she was at. So I couldn't really do what I normally do. So that took me on a different route, and I became a computer whiz. I did programming, and I also repaired computers. That then took me to a career at a transportation company. And I was there for over 15 years, but I will have to tell you that the death of my sister took me 10 years to overcome. And what's so interesting about that is when I was at the railroad and I was happened to see an Oprah Winfrey episode where she had a gal on there named Rose Altea, and she was a medium that claimed that she had a Cherokee as a guidance, a Native American Cherokee as a guidance, helping her learn and understand what was going on in people's lives. And she could look at a person and say, there's something going on with your liver, there's something going on with your pancreas. And there was something about it that I truly resonated with. And so I bought the book, The Eagle and the Rose by Rose Altea. Fascinating book. That was when I was 26, 27 years old. And what's so fascinating is once I read that book, I started getting back to what I knew to be true. I started getting back to me, and me being upset about my sister's loss kind of faded, and I was truly grateful for that. Now, while I was at the railroad, what's so fascinating to me, when I would know who was going to call, and I would write it down in the Franklin Planner, the time and who it was. And one time I had my boss sitting there. I said, watch this, the phone's about to ring. This is so fascinating. And the phone would ring, it was that particular person, and he wondered how in the world I was able to do that. Well, to me it was easy after a while, and this is how I want to help you. And the thing I look at in life is when you really get to you, this is when it truly happens. It's magical. Now, when I was in junior high, I used to dream my life in advance, and it was fascinating to me. But when I would tell people what was about to happen right in front of their eyes, they would freak out. So what happened? That would concern me, and I think, gosh, am I doing something wrong? So I myself would start blocking myself every time something like that would happen. So I'm going to help you try and prevent that or undo some of those things as you were growing up, because even watching my grandson lately, he is so sensitive and knows that I'm at school before I even get to his class, before he even sees me. And if we all nurture that and allow that to happen, what amazing beings we are. and what tremendous things we can do for people in the world. So the first thing, like my last video mentioned, meditate. Meditate, meditate, meditate. And sometimes that's difficult to do in the beginning. So the other tool I'm going to suggest is clear your mind and be in the present moment. Now, how do you do that? First, I would suggest try and look at every single thought you have. Really, it's an art to try and do that. It's difficult to look at every single thought, but you need to get to that core of every single thought that you have. And when you think of those thoughts, is it judgment? Is it something you're judging yourself or judging someone else? When you judge other people, you are judging you, because we are all one. It's the oneness. We're all connected. So remember that. To clear your mind and to be in the present moment, I always suggest a mantra. So you could say namaste over and over and over, which means the light in me is the light in you. So continue saying that, or my favorite, I'm skinny and a millionaire. There's so many. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. God has great things in store for me. There are going to be so many miracles today. What this does is prevents you from looking in the past, which is keeping you depressed and down, and it prevents you from going forward, which creates anxiety. The more you're in the present moment, the more you see things, and catch things in your consciousness, the more awareness you have, the more psychic you become. So thanks so much for watching. I'll give you another tip next week. If you liked the video and know somebody that could truly benefit from this, please like and share. And if you have any comments or questions, psychic questions, please leave them below and we'll talk about them next time. Thanks so much.